Taking a quick look here at the Bills' first drive of the divisional round of the playoffs against the Ravens in the second half, their first drive of the second half, and the great job that Brian Daboll, who's just done a great job all year, really has come into his own. I mean, was a New England guy and then a Saban guy, who of course Saban's good friends with Belichick, but they all saw something in him. And I would say that a lot of fans and broadcasters and commentators didn't always see something in him. But what do we know from the outside? But, there was something in him, and you can see it now. It's fleshed out these last 2 years on the field with a lot of the great scheme work that he's been doing. And I just want to take a quick look at him and his scheme, and the coach and the influences of his past. Of course, you have there's Daboll as the offensive coordinator. You got a head coach here, McDermott, defensive coordinator Frazier. Daboll's the offensive coordinator. He is a Charlie Weiss guy, as you see right there, and McDaniels. And this is Charlie Weiss was the old Earhart Perkins power. It's really a power spread, but it's more fractured. It's like power football out of the run game, and then some spread passing and mixing that together. So it's kind of an early version of how we mix power and spread. And then you have and that was from Ron Earhart and oh geez, I forgot Perkins' first name. Oh my goodness. Anyway, it doesn't matter for right now. But that was Charlie Weiss's background. Charlie Weiss also had some run and shoot in his background and some other things. So he really perfected it in a nice way. And also, Bill Belichick in the early 2000s was checking out the spread of Urban Meyer, or the power spread really, and was bringing that a little bit to Weiss as well. But it was mainly just a passing spread with a little bit with some up tempo, no huddle, which was power spread stuff, and back in the day. Anyway, and then McDaniels take that and really was more of a West Coast from Bill Walsh kind of guy, but he would make it, and Weiss did the West Coast stuff as well. But anyway, McDaniels would turn that into what I would call the West Coast power spread, because he had a lot of power spread elements, and that was growing in the NFL anyway in the last decade. So that's when McDaniels kind of came into his own. After he tried head coaching, he really came into his own, in my opinion, as an offensive coordinator. So Daboll was there for all of that. He was at New England for a long time, but in the middle, he also had a little bit of Brian Schottenheimer and Cam Cameron. And Cam Cameron did some of that Wildcat stuff which is from Malzahn, Gus Malzahn sort of, in the power spread vein of a direct snap to the running back. And then, of course, Cameron is a real Sid Gilman guy. The very beginning, the first West Coast guy before Walsh. Walsh got his stuff from Gilman. So did Don Coryell. So did Al Davis. Whatever. Gilman changed the face of the game in the NFL. And Schottenheimer has some of that Gilman, some of the Bill Walsh, but it's all West Coast. And then, of course, power spread for Schottenheimer at this point. And then Loxley. Loxley was all power spread, all about the college power, the college spread, which became power spread with all the read option stuff and spread passing. And of course, Kiffin came from the BYU stuff, so did Sarkisian. And Kiffin had NFL stuff as well, but they also gravitated to power spread of late. So this is all from Alabama. This is what I'm circling here. So Loxley, Kiffin, Sarkisian, that's from the lately how when Nick Saban moved to power spread on offense. So really that cemented Daboll as a real PS pro guy. He really almost bases his stuff more power spread than pro now, but he has a lot of pro in it. But in the form of West Coast, Earhart Perkins, going back to that stuff, Gilman, all this is in there. So Daboll's really got a nice synchronization right now of pro and power spread from a PS base, PS pro. So as we go to that second half drive to start the second half, look at the Ravens here. They're really jammed up in the middle. They're so aggressive, and they play a lot of press coverage as well. But they mix stuff with their safeties. They'll go and cover zero, no safeties in the deep. One safety, two safeties. They'll mix them up pre-snap. They'll move guys around. So what Daboll had to do, because there was a lot of wind this game, and you couldn't really go deep. So what do you do when you can't go deep? You can't spread the field vertically. You got to spread it horizontally. You got to do something. You got to open up the middle or open up the width. So he decided, look, I'm going to open up this width, and I'm going to use play action. So we're going to fake up the gut and do a little play action pass. Check it out. Look at that. Little dink out there. Very nice, right? Little simple stuff. Nothing real complicated. Look at all these guys jammed in the middle. Get a little single coverage. This guy gets fooled. He's man-to-man right here. This guy gets fooled. and gets jammed in the. That's a little bit of a man beater there, really. I mean, we got a little almost like a switch there. So this guy takes out this guy, and this guy's wide open down here, the tight end. So a little play action. This guy almost blocks it. That's how aggressive. I love the Ravens. Just more than anything, their attitude. It's all about we're coming and we're going to cause a hurricane. We're going to cause a tornado. That's the way to play defense. But Allen's a tall guy. Nice touch, gets it over him. Nice little pass, opening up the field. This is more than just this play. Like the fans, commentators, oh, big play, 20 yards, whatever. No, it's more about the deeper issue is concept. We're stretching you guys out wide. So there were some other plays. We're not seeing all the plays on this drive, but check this out. Now this is 2nd and 16. Send this guy out wide. You've got this guy and man trying to follow him out there desperately. Look how he gets caught up in all the junk. Really, Allen could have just dumped it off to him, but this guy's racing like for his life to get out to that man. Okay? What does that do? That sort of gets everything open. What happens is we've got motion, and they were doing this a lot, using motion to open up other things. You can open up you use motion wide to open up the middle. So you go wide in the beginning to get the guys stretched wide. Then you use motion wide. So you fake in the middle, go wide. Then you motion wide. So you're basically faking wide to go back to middle. But in this case, this guy who's in the middle comes up here, and what does he do? He goes wide. So there's all kinds of concepts about this flooding. Floods and there's a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm not here. I'm just trying to explain the actual idea, the concept. So here you go. Guys motioning wide. This guy right here is going down the field, and he's going to come down here and go wide. There we go. And there's a guy on the other side of the field also going wide up at the top of the screen. He's going to end up wide too. Look, he's wide over here. He's wide here. There's a running back here wide. They're just ripping them open wide. So then, again, there were some plays I'm not showing where there was motion wide and they powered right up the gut, but not on this play. This play is a stretch play. The old zone stretch that was started by Gilman, a lot of people don't realize, went to Vince Lombardi, run for daylight. That's the zone blocking, the zone stretch. So this is all zone blocking. Look, we got one guy pulling, but these guys are all like taking part of their, just blocking space. Who's ever in the space. And it's a power play, though. And it's like what they call a stretch in the West Coast offense, so the power West Coast. Shanahan would love this stuff. And you kind of stretch to the left. So it's kind of a stretch space run to widen still. And then one more little play we'll show. And again, in the middle of all this, they were stretching wide to go in the middle. They were faking in the middle to go wide. You just keep like an accordion, out and in, like an accordion. You're just, so it's this great variety and great play calling and nice balance by Daboll. So here you've got Singletary, the running back, out wide, comes in motion to the inside, reverse motion, goes back out. Watch. Motion in, and then, he didn't motion back out, but he ran the design of the play, went back out. So he was, and then easy, and you got to remember, they're trying to play aggressive. Now they are backing a little off into some zone or some backing off in man a bit, not such press coverage, but still some press going on here because they're really getting screwed around now. They're getting all discombobulated and confused and, trying to keep up. And Daboll, and I can't remember, but I think Daboll was doing some no huddle too, if I'm correct, and some tempo, but maybe not. I can't remember. But anyway, so this guy Singletary was out here, motioned to here, and then ran back outside. And that you can see the bunch set. Got these guys all banged off, and boom, hit them, and there you go. And then the very next play, quick. I think this was like no, that wasn't a no huddle, but whatever. They come here, and it wasn't that quick, but they did come here, do a little screen to this side. Now we go to one side, go to the other side, just all kinds of good variety. Sort of wish I had the whole play sequence because you could really get it. But, this isn't like you look at this one play, you go, wow, Baltimore's defense just stinks. And by the way, look, they're not even got their guys out there. What are they doing? They've got 2 guys. They got 3 guys here. What the heck's going on? This guy's confused. And they didn't even have to do no huddle. If you were doing no huddle, they would have really been confused. But they didn't even really need it because they're a pro team. They're good enough. They can get it done this way. But yeah, no, this isn't like Baltimore is not a bad defense. If you go back to that first play, they're ready to go. One guy's jumping 50 feet in the air. Guys are pumped up. They're blasting, but they're all hesitating now. They're all hesitated, and it's getting in their head now because of the great play call by Daboll and the great use of space. Not time in this case, but in space. He didn't really use too much about time, but there is timing involved in the play calling. So I guess it is time, but not in a no huddle sense or a tempo sense.